Good morning, Britain. My name's Howard Stolber. Today we're going to be taking an exclusive look at Prince Philip and all the details funeral, which is happening live today. I'll also be having a look at summer holidays in 2021 and the truth behind gazumping. My colleague Samuel will be taking an exclusive look over the last 30 years of Google Earth and the changing face of the planet we call home. Also, finally, Uber, the story behind 6 Uber drivers who were initially fired for app fraud but have now been reinstated by a Dutch court. Stick with us.
Live from ITV Studios in London, this is Good Morning Britain.
Good morning, my name's Howard Stolber and I'm joined by Samuel Stolber.
Welcome to GMP.
Now today we're going to be discussing in detail the funeral of Prince Philip. It's going to be a very sad day indeed. We'll have all the coverage as it happens. The funeral will be starting at 3 p.m, during which time the nation will be experiencing 1 minute's silence. Now, in attendance today, 30 people, which of course is due to the pandemic we're currently experiencing.
Yeah.
The Queen will be joined by her closest confidants and family. Of course, Prince William will be there with Kate, Prince Charles will be there, and all the top members of the royal family.
Yes, they will.
It's going to be very sad times indeed. I'm also coming up shortly, we'll be discussing summer holidays, and we're all dying to get away on our holidays. We haven't been away for like a year. I know I haven't been away since last October, and I'm really looking forward to a little bit of sunshine. Put my shorts on, get a bit of rays. It's going to be something quite extraordinary. But everyone's going away this year, so there's going to be a lot of gazumping going on. We'll be discussing holiday firms, what to look for and what not to look for. Okay, so we mentioned at the top of the show we're going to be discussing Summer Holidays 2021 and gazumping. Well, Good Morning Britain has exclusive information of some untoward activities going on by Britain's leading holiday firms. So if you're like me, you spent the last year looking forward to going on holiday, putting on your shorts, t-shirt, your shades, getting some rays, coming back home with a tan and some stories to tell your mates down the pub. But things don't always work out that way. And I've got a good example. A lady called Essel, who lives down the road from me, she spent the last year saving up for a holiday trip to Lanzarote. She had her heart set on it. She hasn't stopped talking about Lanzarote for the last week. But do you know what she just found out? She just found out that the holiday that she booked, it's no longer there because Mavis, I'm just going to call her Mavis, say she lives in the opposite street. She had enough funds to pay double the price that Essel had pre-booked. And now she has taken her flight, her hotel room and the holiday.
So it's basically stealing people's money?
Well, I don't know if they get their money back. You would hope they would get their monies back. But that's not the point. If you've pre-booked something, you've put your deposit down, you're looking forward to something, and then you find out that, hey, my holiday's been taken, Mavis is going on holiday now. Have a good trip, Mavis. I hope you enjoy the all encumbered monies, all encumbered food. I hope you sit down and have a great holiday while I sit in my back garden having a barbecue when I thought I'd be on a flight to Lanzarote. I just think it's disgraceful. But for Essel and all the other people around the UK, I promise you that Good Morning are going to be, we're going to be looking into this. We want more stories. If this has happened to you, write into us and let us know. And we will name and shame all those holiday companies that have been accepting gazumping. Because I'm not accepting it. Are you accepting it?
Absolutely not, because it's a waste of money. Because, for example, you might not have enough money to afford it, and then you just put enough money you got into it just to get a holiday, and someone's quite wealthy, they just pay double the money, and then you probably don't even get your money back.
Yeah. I've been discussing tickets for New York for next year. At the moment, it's looking about $2,500. Okay, that's fine. But what happens if I were to pay my $2,500 and I find out that Brian, my next door neighbour, he's gone and spent $5,000 for my ticket, for my flight. I haven't got $5,000, he gets to go on holiday. But what about my hopes and dreams? What about my trip to the Big Smoke, to the Big Apple? Not happy about that at all.
Yeah, we'll see you after the break. Welcome back to Good Morning Britain. Now I'm going to show you a little clip from Google Earth the last 30 years of our Earth and how it's been attacked, new cities have been built, and this is based on climate change.
Okay, well that was a very interesting video. I'm sure you'll agree, Samuel. And it really goes to show the impact that we have had on planet Earth, from 1984 through to year 2020. So from that video, what I took away, there's less water in lakes, the oceans are rising, so that's taking up land where previously people lived, where animals roamed, we're cutting down trees. This is trees, not just for making paper, but this is for homes, for animals.
It gives us oxygen.
Yeah. Oxygen in the air, carbon dioxide for us to not breathe, because we breathe the oxygen, not the carbon dioxide. But it's the homes for the animals. And, you know, what would happen if I came home from work one night and my house had been knocked down and everyone's house has been knocked down to make way for, I don't know, let's build a skyscraper for business. Where do I go to live?
Because, if you know, next to the studio, around there next to the studio, some of our trees have been cut down and just turned into a fence for a school.
Indeed. It used to be like a forest out there.
Beautiful.
Now it's a playground with climbing frames and that kind of rubbery floor that doesn't really hurt if you fall over on it.
Yeah.
So it's good that they're thinking about not hurting yourself.
For children.
For children, yeah. But what about the animals? How do the animals, where do they go? They can't, where do they go?
See, what?
I tell you where they go. They go extinct. That's where they go.
But what's going to happen to the trees?
The trees are gone. Trees have been converted into our envelopes, our paper mache. Goodbye trees. Goodbye animals. Hello new earth with less trees. More water.
Just, see, cities have been built around the earth and, animals won't be able to survive. Animals are going extinct. There's less and less and less and less. There's getting so less of animals.
I read a nice little article recently about, I think with all that's been going on with coronavirus, people haven't been going into cities to work, working from home. So all those big buildings where everyone was working might get changed to homes, flats for people to live in. And I think we should put flowers, plants, trees on top of all these buildings.
Grow them, yeah.
Yeah. So that way people can have an upstairs garden. They can go upstairs, up the lift, upstairs garden. Or, just take out some bits of glass, put in nice bits of trees coming out.
So this is an example for you all at home during lockdown. You can do anything during lockdown except from go outside, obviously.
Well, you can go outside,
Yeah.
you just can't go to a person's house, which, I don't mind that, that's fine, I follow the rules. But what I don't like is seeing the ice caps melt. That's just, it's as simple as that. The world is heating up, there's less ice. Are we using that ice for our drinks? No, we're not, because it's melted. Because the earth is getting hot.
Well, that would have been a good idea. Restaurants could have taken the ice and put them in drinks. That would have been reusing.
Could have.
And it would go.
All you have to do is take some water, put it in a fridge. You got ice cubes. We don't need to be melting the ice caps for more ice. for our Bacardis.
What's coming up next then, Howard?
Well, I think maybe we can taking a look at Uber.
Oh.
Uber.
Yeah, you can get taxis from Uber.
I've only ever used Uber a couple of times.
Yeah.
But there's been a bit of scandal, and we'll be discussing that in a moment.
After the break. Welcome to GMB.
Hi, good morning again. So before the break, we discussed, we mentioned Uber. I've used Uber a couple of times now for as a taxi service, but I think mainly most of us have used it for our takeaway deliveries during lockdown. Have you used them?
Well, yeah, because when Saturday Night Takeaway's on, you know you're on Sovereign Chinese, takeaway.
So, quite an interesting news story on Uber though. So,
Saturday night, party night, remember?
It is indeed. Tonight is party night. So a court in the Netherlands has ordered Uber to reinstate 6 of its drivers that it had initially dismissed for fraud, following legal action by the App Driver and Couriers Union. Now, Uber failed to contest the case in a default judgment. The Amsterdam District Court has accepted the union's claim that the drivers were fired unlawfully by Uber. Now, Uber's greatest asset is its technology. You got your phone, you got your laptop or your tablet, iPad. Yeah, you just book in. Can you pick me up X amount of time? And you can leave feedback at the end of it. But the company's app, it processes really fast speeds, and it's connected 70,000 drivers all over the world. But obviously, it's open to fraud. So when an Uber driver picks you up, I'm guessing they get paid by amount of time and distance that they're away. But if they don't put down that you've gone to this address, they can put down you've gone a bit further. They can drive an extra 5 miles, but actually they can stop off at McDonald's and they can have a couple of burgers and fries whilst pretending to work, and that's where the fraud is open to a congestion. I think that's terrible.
You get sacked.
If I did that, I'd get sacked. Obviously not if I was working for Uber, because you can get away with it. But if I was working for 999 taxis down the road and I did that, nah. So these 6 drivers, I think they've had a lucky escape. And it just shows how careful you've got to be. I think this is a real learning curve for Uber. They need to lock down their apps. They need to lock down their drivers, know where people are going at all times. Set rates. I go with set price rates. That way you always know what you're paying.
In fact, you should get an Uber tracker on your car, so there's a map. You can go on an email or the app and you can see where the car's heading, like Google Maps where the blue circle comes up on. You can view your photo and look where it is, and you can take evidence and send it to Uber, the managers, or anybody moderating the Uber website.
I think someone's just solved Uber's problem. So yeah, get your tracking device ready, get them fitted in people's cars, and then we shouldn't then hear any more about fraudulent drivers.
Yep.
Yeah, well that's all for me this morning, Samuel.
Yep, and we'll hopefully see you next Sunday. We might or we might not see you next Sunday.
Yeah, but make sure you tune in. I think it's 2:20 for the coverage of Prince Philip's funeral. That's when it all begins. 3:00, as I mentioned, around the UK, a minute's silence is to be held, and the funeral will then take place during that period. Live coverage as it happens.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment down below. Goodbye.
Good morning, Britain.